What are we doing today? Comparing this with this. Let's get it. This Oramask 813 can be found on Amazon. I will have a link in the description if you want to check it out. It's called Oramask Masking Film 813. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is a vinyl that works great. Alternatively, this is some vinyl paper from the Dollar Tree, which is apparently now called the $1.25 tree. That's not true, but they did raise their prices. I'll show you what we're carving. We're going to use poplar today. It's a simple design. We're going to compare effectively the two different types of vinyls, and I'm even going to throw a little bonus comparison in this video with some regular old tape to see how it compares. And for your reference, this is the bit we will be using today. It is from Tools Today. It is the Amana RC 1148 60-degree V-bit. As you guys know, comparison videos like this are not foolproof. You have to do your own due diligence on your end with your machine because there are so many factors at play that can affect a carve. But I wanted to show you the design we're going to be working with today. Here is the animation. We're going to start with the dollar store vinyl on the left side, and then in the middle we're going to be comparing it to the Oramask 813. And I sped that up quite a bit, but you get the idea. And then we're just going to put some regular old blue painter's tape on the end, just out of curiosity. This is more of a general FYI, but wanted to share with you guys the settings that I have put forth for this job. I have a flat depth of 0.1, and with the 60-degree V-bit settings, you can pause your screen if you want to take a longer look at these, but just made my pass depth match my flat depth for this, for instance, so that I can speed the job up a little bit. I think it's going to take about 23 minutes. And if you want to know how to access that on this toolpath tab, you can click this little button here that has the little stopwatch on it, and it'll show you roughly how long the job is going to take. So it's going to save the toolpath and get going. Well, first we get to make fun of me because the blue is the Oramask vinyl, and I accidentally put the blue down first where it says Dollar Tree vinyl, so oh my goodness. It was gonna be so good, and then I went ahead and did that. Red is the Dollar Tree vinyl, even though it says Oramask 813. Regular old tape is definitely regular old tape. I don't know if you can tell this from this angle and at this height, but the Oramask and the Dollar Tree vinyl pretty much have the same exact results at first glance. Actually, at first glance, the Dollar Tree vinyl struck me as potentially even a tiny bit cleaner, which just blows my mind. I'm gonna brush these off and see if we can tell a difference. The Dollar Tree vinyl is exceptionally clean on this style of lettering. Pleasantly surprised with this Dollar Tree vinyl. I think it's practically identical to the Oramask. This, however, is another story. So you know those tests where you have to read a color, say it says red, and the color of the word red is blue, and your brain has a hard time reading the word red just because it's the color blue? Well, yeah. Just your basic craft paint, nothing special. That's how I like to do it. Apparently there's a helicopter circling. This is how we do it. Probably gonna have to record a voiceover because that helicopter is freaking loud. Okay, so that was an excessive amount of paint. You can also just use black spray paint, which is an awesome option when you have like a ton of nooks and crannies and you need to get in there all nice and deep black.
That's it, boy. Get in there nice and deep black.
This was way more paint than anyone needed. So place your bets. Who thinks it's gonna be the red Dollar Tree vinyl? And who thinks it's gonna be the blue Oramask? That was a ridiculous amount of paint. We are gonna peel the vinyl off and see who did it better. Definitely not that one. So the regular old tape went first, and it was very clear that it was the hardest to peel off, which is ironic considering it adhered to the wood the worst. Next up was the Dollar Tree vinyl, which looked really good when it was being carved, but as I peeled it away, revealed some bleeding. And last but certainly not least, the Oramask 813 came off a little less easy than the Dollar Tree vinyl did, but yielded very clean results. Gotta say, the Oramask, the blue masking that was here, is the winner. It's the cleanest. There is a few spots where you have some tiny little hairline bleeding. Maybe that was a factor having to do with the polyacrylic. It was a little bit foamy, so maybe I need some fresh polyacrylic, but no major bleeding like these big spots like the Dollar Tree vinyl had. It looked really good when it was carving, but I did notice it bubble up after a while and had some clear bleeding despite sealing it with the polyacrylic. Had multiple big bleeds, and then you can see like just some hairline bleeding where it goes into the grain everywhere. Not a big deal. Could be sanded down if your carve is deep enough. The regular old blue painter's tape, you know, this isn't really what that type of tape is made for. As you can see, there are not clean lines on this side, and I would not recommend using regular blue tape. However, if you are in a pinch and it's all you have, and you do your carve deep enough and don't go crazy with paint like I did, you could potentially still get a nice paint job after sanding. All right, so despite this being an incredibly confusing video because of my mix-up with the positioning of the vinyls, I want to leave you with some final thoughts that are hopefully going to be helpful when you pick vinyl for your next project on your CNC. I will say the biggest thing that I noticed when I was removing the dollar store vinyl here, the red vinyl in the middle, it left quite a sticky residue. So that's something you want to keep in mind. You will have to sand regardless if you use that to get that sticky residue off, and it might bleed on you. And I'll be honest, that Dollar Tree vinyl was looking pretty crisp while it was carving on the CNC. But afterwards is when I noticed some bubbles pop up, and that means you're not going to get a tight seal. Even if you use the clear coat, and paint is going to bleed, and that's exactly what we saw happen. The clear Underdog regular old blue tape, nothing really to report there. It just is the Underdog. Don't use it if you don't have to. And finally, our winner, not Dollar Tree vinyl or Oramask 813. honestly, this is surprising for me. I thought that Dollar Tree was going to give us a run for our money, but the fact that the Oracal did not leave any sticky residue behind, it did not have any major bleeds the way that the dollar store vinyl did, and yes, more expensive, but in this business, time is money. So if you invest in a slightly better vinyl, probably gonna get a better result and spend less time cleaning it up in the end. So there you have it. Hope this video was helpful. If you made it this far, comment $1.25, because you know the dollar store is no longer the dollar store. They raised their prices. Thanks guys for hanging out. As usual, this video was a little bit rushed because I'm leaving town to start filming a big project this weekend. So thanks for hanging with me. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell to stay in the loop for future videos. All right, guys.